What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And as always, I'd like to remind you guys if you want to donate to this channel, if you want to show love to this channel, you can do so in the link provided in the description box below. The link's provided in the description box below. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Demarcus Cousins. All right, Demarcus Cousins, now a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, and I saw earlier today, I think it was a repeat of First Things First. I think it was First Things First, where Nick Wright was debating about whether or not the Lakers should be taking a chance on DeMarcus Cousins. And, you know, look, I get it. DeMarcus Cousins is coming off a series of injuries. You know, he's a little banged up. You wonder if he's going to become injury prone, I guess. He's a big man. That's a legitimate concern. I get it. We saw what happened to, for instance, Andrew Bynum, Greg Oden. I get it. But what I don't understand is why they talk about DeMarcus Cousins as if he's, you know, a player who is not worth the risk. That's what gets me. Okay, we're talking about DeMarcus Cousins, not Sam Bowie. Okay, DeMarcus Cousins, not Samuel Dallenberg. DeMarcus Cousins, a player who was just 2 years ago almost everyone's consensus pick as the best center in the NBA. He's come off a series of injuries, an ACL tear, which many players never really recover from, and a quadriceps tear suffered just this past May. No, actually, I think it was in April. Excuse me. Suffered in April. Maybe you should look at the fact that he worked so diligently and worked so hard to get back for his team to the point where he made it to the NBA Finals and had two very productive games in the NBA Finals despite suffering that quadriceps tear. Maybe you guys need to look at that rather than talking about this guy as if he's damaged goods. I mean, I could see if DeMarcus Cousins was like, 37, 38, 36. Okay, then I understand the conversation then. This is a guy at the end of his career. How much he has left in the tank. This is a guy still in the prime of his career. He might have suffered injuries, but trust me, he's going to recover from these injuries, and we're going to see DeMarcus Cousins start to get back to the level of play that we're accustomed to seeing. The DeMarcus Cousins, who, when he is the lead dog, putting up 27, 28 points per game, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, what have you. Now, because he's playing on a team like the Lakers, he's not going to put up numbers like that consistently. But we're going to see DeMarcus Cousins start having more and more breakout games. I guarantee you. And now, this is another thing that bothers me. The way the media is very selective in who they want to give props to, you know what I'm saying? Or who they want to, actually in this situation, who they want to shit on, question. Now, from a historical, one of the most injury-prone centers in the history of the league was Bill Walton, right? I mean, Bill Walton, I think, only played in 643 games over a span of, I believe, 13 seasons. It's not a lot of games. I think he missed like 300 and going close to 400 games due to injuries. But you don't hear people criticizing Bill Walton for that. You don't hear people criticizing Bill Walton because he suffered injuries. He's the warrior who persevered despite his physical setbacks. Even though after the first 5 years of his career, he really didn't have much of a career. Had some great years with Portland. Had like a year and a half of productivity with the San Diego Clippers. Had a really good run in the 85-86 season with the Celtics, and that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised if Demarcus Cousins has already played in as many games as Bill Walton. And that's not to knock Bill Walton, but I don't get it, man. Then if anybody, if there's any player in the league that should be criticized consistently, but for some reason, and I'm just gonna say for some reason, this player escapes criticism, is Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward was expected to produce at an all-star level for the Boston Celtics. Now, of course, he missed the entire 2017 18 season due to injury. We understand that. But as he came back for this past season, 2018-19 season, it was understandable if he started off slow. But he never really improved or showed any upside during the season. He had a couple of handful of decent games, had one or two great games, but for the most part, he sucked. But did you hear anybody in the media really getting at him? No, because they still blame him. They still give him the excuse of an injury that he suffered getting close to 2 years ago. To 2 years ago, he suffered that fucking injury. October of 2017. That's when he suffered that injury. And people still use that as a fucking excuse for Gordon Hayward. But here you have DeMarcus Cousins, right? Who suffered an ACL tear late last season. Well, actually 2017-18 season, the very end of that season. All right. After Gordon Hayward's injury, mind you. Then he suffers a quadriceps tear. I think it was the second game of the playoffs this past year. And was able to come back in the finals and be somewhat productive. But yet, people, they question whether people should take a chance on the guy who was the best center in the league just a couple of years ago. Meanwhile, Gordon Hayward gets a pass to stink it up. And if he sucks next year, hey, man, he's still coming off that injury that he suffered 3 years ago. The shit just gets on my. It really just bothers me, man, because DeMarcus Cousins is a multiple-time All-Star. You know what I'm saying? For many, many years, he was as I said before, he was the creme de la creme at the center position. Now, he wasn't like, uh, you know, a top 20 center or a top 15 or a top 10 or a top 5. He was the top center. At the very least, it was 1 and 2 of him and Joel Embiid. And when you really think about it, he did have a really good year for the Golden State Warriors, when all things considered. When you consider the type of injury he's coming from and coming off of, he had a very productive season with the Golden State Warriors. And I think he's going to have an even more productive season with the Los Angeles Lakers. He's going to get his weight down a little bit. He's going to get in better conditioning. He's going to start to physically recover from the injuries that he suffered. Because usually when the ACL tear, it takes like, not everybody's Dominique Wilkins. He was a freak of nature and an anomaly when it comes to the Achilles rupture progression when it comes to healing. Most people, it takes them about a year to 2 years to really recover from that Achilles rupture if you're going to recover from it. So I think DeMarcus Cousins, his best days are yet to come for him. All right, and in this situation, less is more. They're not going to have to. The Lakers aren't going to have to rely on him consistently all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I think he'll be very productive. I think he's a great. I think he's a great how can I say this? I think he's very compatible with LeBron James. I think he's very compatible with LeBron James on the floor. And I think the Lakers, with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, uh, I think the Lakers are going to probably lead the NBA in points in the paint next year. And it should be a fun year to watch the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to win a championship? Who knows? I mean, they actually do have a great squad. You know what I'm saying? You can make the argument that overall they might have the most talented squad in the NBA. It's just that the Clippers have a now. When Paul George really comes back from his surgery, like when he really recovers, they're going to have an awesome 1-2 punch. The two best two-way players in the NBA on the same team should be awesome, man. But tell me what you think